This is just a trigger warning. This video will contain content that involves grape and assault. So yeah, just please be warned, if you are sensitive to that subject, this may not be for you. So next week I've got to take my daughter down to Kent for her granddad's funeral. And so I started looking up for hotels, and a hotel popped up right on the seafront, perfect location in Ramsgate, and it was cheap. So I didn't book it, but I thought that's a possibility. The next day, I had a flashback of a memory of that hotel. And that memory was my first conscious grape. And yeah, I've been processing a lot since then. I did speak to the guys who I'm in therapy with at the Trauma Recovery Centre about potentially staying there, and then when my daughter's at the funeral, doing some inner work, meeting that 18-year-old version of me. And then I decided, with some support, that it potentially wasn't the time to do that. My daughter's going to need me, and being in that hotel and reliving that potentially wouldn't be the best. It wouldn't be the best time to do it. So then I had EMDR. I'm still creating my timeline, and I had to talk about between the ages of 15 and 18, and yeah, we got to that. We got to that incident. And again, it was really difficult to talk about. It's not something that I think of that often. It's there, but it's not something that I think of that often. And at the time, for years, I wasn't really aware of what it was. I knew it wasn't okay. But as I got older, I started to realise that actually, I think I was given some kind of something. I know I was under the influence of alcohol. I know that. But there was something else. Something wasn't quite right. And when I woke up in the room, there was things that wasn't okay. That wasn't me. So yeah. And then he gave me money. And then he hounded me for ages. It was weird, a weird setup. And I think the fact that I knew the person, I can't say, I'm not going to go into too much, but I knew the person, and he knew my parents. So I didn't say anything. My parents knew it happened. They didn't say anything. So yeah. So that was that. And I've been processing that all week, and it's been on my mind all week. And then on Friday, I went to a place called the CIP Project, to an event called The Calling. And it is an immersive inner work workshop. And I wasn't quite sure what I was doing there. I was invited there by a friend. It was his birthday. So I went along. Usually when I go to these kind of places, I've got some kind of intention to work what I'm working with, but I didn't know. I didn't know what I was going to work with there. I just thought it would just be an interesting day. And it wasn't until the third round of the Sweat Lodge that everything slotted into place. So during the third round of the Sweat Lodge, it was I think it was the end of the third round. The subject of grape come up, not from me, but what it actually did, the person that brought it up acted like a beacon, not just for me as well. And during that process, I let out so much emotion around that incident and all the other fucking incidents that I've had to suffer at the hands of a man. And I think hearing the facilitator pray that men start to take the old role of protecting and not causing suffering to women and children. And the men in the sweat lodge, they sat and they were quiet and they held space for the women that had been affected. And yeah, it was fucking powerful, really powerful, and unexpected as well. So I feel now, on reflection, like I feel an emptiness somewhere in my body, and I don't know what that emptiness is. Something's gone. And it's not that it doesn't feel nice. I just feel different. And yeah, I'm not quite sure how going back down to Kent is going to pan out, to be honest. I suppose I'll just put my mum hat on and, you know, what as mums do. But yeah, I feel for that 18-year-old version of me right now, who's so confused, and for that incident to be normalised, and it wasn't okay. It wasn't okay. Thank you for listening, and if you've been affected by this video, by the subjects in this video, you're not alone. My inbox is open. Thank you for listening.